I've always loved photography. I remember from an early age spending hours gazing on my father's old LP album covers. After briefly flirting with the idea of being an archaeologist, I decided to focus on visual arts. I've recently finished my master's in documentary photography at Sydney College of Arts. My fascination with Australia's convict past started when I was commissioned to photograph Anna, a convict descendant high school student, for a heritage publication. So, when I embarked my master's degree, I decided to document direct descendants of convict settlers for my master's project. This also enabled me to combine two of my long term fascinations, photography and history. I've always been curious about other civilizations, in particular how people lived in the past. Perhaps because I grew in Istanbul, surrounded by amazing old architecture and artifacts. Like most migrants, I was not very familiar with Australia's convict history. So when I started researching, I was actually quite surprised to discover that more than 160,000 convicts, to me an overwhelming number, were transported to Australia. Most were convicted of petty theft. Stolen items varied from shoes to fabrics, coats to pocket watches, purses to sheep. I decided to photograph the descendants with a representation of the item stolen by their ancestor. I've photographed about 45 descendants, mostly in their homes or at a place that's relevant to their crime. I aim to capture the proud, prosperous, and colorful lives of the descendants in a way, in contrast to the hardship that their ancestors endured, and perhaps underlining the, presumably positive effect the displacement of significant number of people had on their descendants' lives today. The people I photographed came from a wide cross section of Australian society. I believe the project, for the first time, not only created a visual connection of this amazing group of people, but also a visual connection with their past through the objects. So I think the project is mostly also about connecting. I believe the knowledge of one's past develops a stronger sense of belonging, and it also sheds light to who we are.